going to start with hands over the shoulders, elbows soft, feet under your hips, knees soft, and we're just going to see where the spinal mobility is at. So just taking a twist through your upper body, keeping your hips square. So exhaling and inhaling. Exhaling. Now, if you're very tight through your back, it might just be a tiny, tiny movement, but the key thing is to keep your hips still and just move your upper body. So we're working on the thoracic part of your back. We're going to do this at the end afterwards, just to see whether your mobility has changed through your spine. Use your exhale. Inhale back into the center. Keep your chin in line with the crisscross of your hands. And back. Just do 3 or 4. Start to feel the mobility through your rib cage. We then move it into a side bend to open up the side of the ribs. So taking a breath in, reaching up, pulling your ribs up, away from your hips, feeling the spine lengthen. And then as you breathe out, just gently slide from the rib cage to the side. Let the other arm hang to relax. Belly's drawn in to look after the spine. Breathing into the center. Breathing out to let go. Breathing into the center. Breathing out to let go. If you want to release your neck a little bit more, you can turn your eye gaze towards the floor so you get a stretch down the side of your neck. Do as many of these as you need to mobilize. Once you start to feel a little bit more ease, we can start to add in a little bit more lengthening lower down in your spine. So stepping 1 foot behind, so it's almost like curtsy feet. Adjust so you feel balanced. So for me, I can have my feet together. You might need them a little bit further apart. Breathing in, lift. As you breathe out, shift your hip away and then reach through the side. So now we're creating a stretch, not just from here, but all the way over the hip. Let your arm drop down. Eye gaze to the floor. Breathing in. And you can stay with one side. Then just ease it out. And then try the other side. And just notice how you feel on the other side as well. Notice whether there is any difference. So breathing in, breathing out. You can add the neck twist, looking to the floor, or you can keep the eye gaze forward. It's up to you. Letting the bottom hand be quite relaxed. One more time. So then we move into onto the floor. We start off in child's pose. So just sitting the butt back to the heels, letting your head and shoulders rest down on the floor. You can adjust your legs to however wide or narrow you need. Breathe in. As you breathe out, let your shoulders soften down towards the floor. Let your tailbone slide down towards your heels. Take a couple of breaths. And then breathing in, lift up. So your hands are under your shoulders, your knees are under your hips, coming into cat-cow. So the first thing you want to do is drop the shoulders down the spine, spread the collarbones and lift your eye gaze. Breathe in. As you breathe out, tuck the belly in towards the spine, tailbone tucks down, ripple the breath down your back. Weight even through your palms as your head and shoulders relax. Breathing in. And then breathing out. See if you can let your head go completely. We're aiming to create space in the middle of our shoulders at the top as well. Again, go for 4 or 5 of those, or less if you want to. Now, if your back is tight, you might find that one direction is a little bit more uncomfortable than the other. So just go with what feels right for you. Next move, we sit the butt back to the heels. We're aiming to stretch across the sit bones and kind of the very lower part of the spine, SI joint area. So resting yourself down. Now this is quite small. Hopefully you're able to see it. As you breathe out, tuck the tailbone towards your belly button. So you're pulling the pelvis forwards towards your knees, and then you're releasing out and feeling the tailbone lengthen back. So the sit bone comes under, and then it lengthens back outwards. So you're exhaling, pulling the belly in, tucking under, and then inhaling, lengthening. Let your arms lie soft on the floor. Depending where the tightness is, you'll feel the tightness start to release up your back until you get some nice length. Again, play with that. Keep it as small or as big as you need to. When you're ready, we're going to come back up, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. In the previous video clip, we just did wagging tails, but we moved the arms as well. This time you're going to keep your shoulders still and just wag your tailbone from side to side. So you're just mobilizing through your back, feeling the release. Now if you feel comfortable with this, you can then start to turn the head, look towards the hips. That's like a little side crunch, back into the center. Exhale, look to the hips. Inhale, back to the center. Exhale, look to the hips, and again keep going with that. So we're aiming to kind of get the spine mobility a little bit better, moving from side to side. From there, we're going to take it into a little bit of a rolling cat and cow now. So you imagine your rib cage is in a barrel, and then you drop your belly down to the bottom of the barrel. Then you slide your rib cage to the outside, back comes up to the top, rib cage comes down to the side. So you're doing your cat and cow, but you're rolling your ribs from left to right. Use your out breath, in breath, out breath, in breath. Do it a few times one way and then try the other way. Now you might find the other way is a little trickier, but just take your time. Think about moving your ribs around the inside of that barrel first of all, then add the kind of concave and convex, and then add your breath. From there, we're going to take it into a little psoas stretch. So we want to open up the front of the hip. If this is tight, we tend to be here, pressure on your back as you're leaning. So you're going to take 1 foot forward, square the hips down towards the floor. So if your hip is lifting, I'm going to draw the hip down, tuck the pelvis under. So it's under the pelvis is over your knee and under your shoulder. Take a breath in, reach up, and then as you breathe out, we got used to going up. This time reach over, so you're reaching over the front leg, and this is going to create a bigger pull right up your IT band, but also over the top of your hip. Good, breathing back into the center, and then you can take this into a little hamstring stretch if you want as well. So you can either hands on hips and shift your leg back, or hands to the floor and drop your head down. Do that a couple of times. So you breathe in, you lift up, feel the stretch through the front of your hip, drop one hand down, twist and reach over that thigh, back into the center, arms come up, and then you can either bring your hands to your hips, shift the weight back, or bring your hands to the floor. Again, do that 4 or 5 times, or as many times as you want to, if you feel you need to open up more. Let's do the other side. So again, the ankle is directly under the knee. We bring the hip down, we tuck the pelvis under. We lift up, stretching up through the front of the body, pulling the ribs away from the hips. Breathing out, stretching over to the side. Breathing back into the center to lift, and then breathing out, hands to hips or hands to floor. Lengthen your leg, hamstring stretch. We're then going to take it into the glutes and the hamstrings, which also can pull on the back if your glutes and hamstrings are tight. So you're bringing yourself onto your back. Supine glute stretch, bringing your foot over the thigh, pressing the knee away so you open up through the piriformis, and then you're just going to lift the knee in towards you. You can hold inside of thigh, top of knee, ankle, or you could even just put a band and pull your leg in if you find that you'll feel quite tight here. Take some breath in and out, and you'll notice that my knee starts to drop in here. To increase the glute stretch, if you have your hand on your knee and the other hand holding the leg, you can gently move the knee outwards, but check that your pelvis stays nice and still. So if you feel your pelvis start to twist, you know that you've gone a little bit too far. You just want to let the hip come out and create that stretch. Take a few breaths there, breathing in and breathing out. Seeing if you can find a sense of release each time you breathe. and just let gravity do its job. From there we bring it to hamstring, so you land your foot down. Other foot comes up to the ceiling again. You can use a band to pull the leg towards you if it feels quite far away. You can hold thigh, calf or even ankle. Knee can be bent or the leg can be straight, up to you. Breathe in and see if you can send your breath from your sit bone right up to the heel, so you're lifting the leg out of the hip joint but keeping the back anchored to the floor. And then as you breathe out, because you've created a bit more space in the hip, you should let just gravity let you move you a little bit further forward. Use your hands, but they shouldn't be pulling. It should literally just be just letting go with your breath. So the hands are just guiding your leg in the direction. Again, see if you can let your shoulders be relaxed, your spine be relaxed, and your glutes be relaxed on the floor. Breathing in and breathing out. Do the same on the other side. So you bring the foot over the thigh, press the knee out. You might find that as you press the knee out, your pelvis tilts again. So draw the belly in. Find where you can move the leg to without your pelvis tilting. Take a few breaths. Feel the release across the piriformis, which is kind of across the back of the butt. And then when you're ready, pick up, squeeze and breathe. Again, take as long as you need to, and if you find the knee is dropped in, you gently draw the knee out to keep the hips stable. So if you feel your pelvis twisting, reset it. Again, take a few breaths there, and then we bring it into the back of the leg. Same as before. Breathing in, lifting up, and as you breathe out, drop down. Letting go each time. See if you let your shoulders be quite nice and relaxed. Good. And then you land your feet to the floor, hug your knees in to just release through your spine. We come to happy baby to finish before we stand, so you slide the knees outside your hips. Option one is just to lift the feet, hold the inside of your thighs, push the tailbone down, bring your shoulders into the floor. If you feel comfortable, hold your calves or your ankles, or even the inside or outside of your feet, but you draw the tailbone down towards the floor with your out breath, draw the shoulder blades back and down towards the floor and tuck the chin into the chest. So you're creating a really nice long stretch all the way down the back. And again, most importantly, we breathe. Big, long, deep breaths. Letting that breath flow up and down your spine, softening your shoulders, softening your hips. Have a little rock if you want to, or not. Spend as long as you want there. Bring your knees together. Roll to the side. Always important if you have back issues, this is how you get up. And then bring yourself onto your hands and knees. You take a sit back to child's pose again, letting your head and shoulders drop. And if it feels nice, you might want to try reaching the arm underneath, just stretching the way into the back of the shoulder. And trying the other side, breathing in as you breathe out, creating a gentle stretch through your upper back, releasing. And then we come into rolling up. So you do as many of those as you need to. Tuck the toes under, shift the weight into the heels, let your chest rest on your thighs. So your back is supported by the chest resting on the thighs. Drop your head, let your neck and shoulders relax completely. And then you can either use your hands on your thighs to tuck the tailbone under, pulling through your belly, rolling up through your spine. Or if you're feeling stronger through your back, you can push through your feet, pull your belly button in, and then just pull your tailbone down, pull the belly in, rolling up through your spine. Reset the shoulders over the hips, and hopefully you should be a little more mobile. Now if you just want to check and see whether there's any difference, you bring yourself back to your hip width, you cross your hands, and then you just take your twist. And you should find there's a little bit more difference. You can also play with just doing your side twist again and looking at the difference, or even just sliding your hands down towards your knees and seeing if you can get your fingertips to the same point in either side. Now if you can't, you know you've got to stretch one side a little bit more. But take your time, listen to your body, do this all very gradually. Do as many of these exercises as you want to, so it might just be one or two, and lots of breathing if you feel very tight at first.